Hey there! Welcome back to Reddit Dating, best channel for cheating stories. Make sure to like and subscribe the channel for more spicy stories. I cheated and made him a monster. I'm not sure what else I can do to help this situation. My husband, 27M, discovered me, 25F, in the midst of a 7-month affair with a coworker 2 months ago. My spouse was away on business, which hampered our communication and intimacy. At the same time, I was starting a new career in a new place, and this guy struck me as incredibly compatible and magnetic. It was simple to talk to him, and the conversation quickly devolved into an emotional affair, which became physical. It felt like destiny at the time, but in retrospect, it was nothing more than a routine affair. It's the worst blunder I've ever made in my life. I deeply regret it, and I can't believe I could have been so foolish and inconsiderate to someone I care about. I've shut off all contact and given my spouse access to all of my phone records, emails, and online accounts. I let him follow my whereabouts, and I make it a point to return his calls, even if I'm at work with a client. We've been going to couples counseling on a weekly basis, and we're reading a book together, not just friends, and despite a few hiccups, we've been getting along very well for the last 2-3 weeks. He can now say I love you again, albeit he emphasizes that he does not mean unconditionally. I'm investing in this marriage like never before, and I'm doing all in my power to prioritize his needs before mine. I go out of my way to for him, buy him snacks he like, keep the place clean, dress up for him when we go out, and satisfy him in bed. I routinely ask him how he is feeling, if he has anything he wants to talk about, or if he has any questions that I can help him answer. He used to worry over the details, but I've learned that if I take the initiative to check in with him, he responds better because he knows I'm not just trying to push things under the rug. I know I'm the source of all the misery I've caused him, yet I'm also the one he wants to help him heal. Despite the progress we're making in treatment and bonding with each other, he still has intermittent outbursts of rage, malice, and downright cruelty. He brings up things I know I can't change, mistakes I've made, and tells me how I was. He tells me I'm not deserving of his love since I've been so careless with the affection he's given me in the past. He's been demanding unpleasant activities that I've never done with anyone in the previous several days, rationalizing it by arguing that I've made our life cheap by sharing it so freely with an outsider. When I tell him that this is making me depressed and destroying my self-esteem, he lashes out and asks how I can respect myself after what I've done. I honestly don't know what to say in those situations. When I look at him, I see no love in his eyes. It appears that the loving, caring husband I once had has devolved into a monster of my own making. I have the impression that he is purposefully driving me to my breaking point in order to test how much pain I can endure before crawling back to him. I understand. I violated his confidence and damaged his foundation, and now he wants to see what remains to link us together. I'm deeply sorry for what I did, and I wish more than anything that I could alleviate his suffering. I think that's why I put up with it and push through the ups and downs in order to make him happy again. But at the end of the day, I feel worthless, unappreciated, and unlovable, despite everything I do for him. When we have, I feel like a prostitute. I feel like I'd be better off dead, so he doesn't have to bear the burden of a cheating wife, so he can be free to discover true happiness with someone who will never mislead him in the same way I did. Please assist me. I'm upset and desperate. What else can I do to get him back? Me husband, 45 male, and I, 43 female, discovered my daughter, 15 female, asleep after, and he is enraged. What should I do? Background: husband and I have been happily married for about 21 years. He was raised Christian, but I was not. R20F, M15F, and L are our 3 amazing children, 7M. Apart from R being diagnosed with moderate depressive illness and L being diagnosed with stage 3, severe autism, I wouldn't say we've had too many problems. Obviously, this had an effect on our family dynamic and marriage, but we've worked through it through the years. M also has an unusual problem in which she falls asleep very readily. This has resulted in small concerns like us falling asleep in class, on public transportation, and in other places. We've seen a few professionals about it, but it doesn't appear to be anything to be concerned about. We went to counseling as a family for a few months as an experiment, but it just didn't work. R was strongly opposed and remained defensive for the majority of it, and my husband and I already talked outside of therapy, so there wasn't anything to hide or discuss. So Abby, L, and I went shopping for a few hours 2 days ago. R was studying at a nearby library, leaving M at home alone. This is a common occurrence, and I must emphasize that she has never had any concerns with safety, responsibility, or anything else. This system serves us well. When we returned, N was not in her room, and the bathroom door was shut. After a few minutes of knocking and calling, I became agitated and exclaimed, "We're coming in, M." In my view, she could have hit her head and become unconscious or worse. My husband then opened the door to find M fast sleeping in the shower, phone in hand, no pants on. Her place was angled close to the faucet and wet, indicating that something had transpired. I walked in to make sure she was okay, breathing and so on. After all, she could have just been practicing proper vaginal hygiene. I decided to leave her there and grabbed her phone to plug it in, but it was already turned on. A video was halted on the screen. This really caught me off guard, as did my husband, who had witnessed everything. He walked past me and slapped her across the face with this strange grimace on her face. I screamed and shoved him away from her, but M woke up and began crying. I felt terrible, so I dragged him out of the room and left her there to gather her thoughts, but I had a feeling it was too late. My husband is now furious with M. I've never seen him like this before. He's upset over a couple things that I don't understand. He regards it as a sin and is disgusted that she committed it. She must have learned it from someone. He's certain she had, or had had, a boyfriend or multiple. Who taught her this? He even implied that she was communicating with older males online who had groomed her into it. The bathtub. He's furious because she was in the bathtub, which we all use. I agree, but it's a little unsanitary for her to do it in our family bathtub while we're gone. This isn't a massive blunder on her part, but it's a little boring. The water bill, he's convinced M has done this before, and he's going nuts just thinking about how much water she's squandered. I understand, however, I believe that is a minor point. We discussed how is natural and that she has a right to her body, but he is still concerned about point 2. I think I've calmed him down, but he's still enraged by her actions, and I'm speechless. M, on the other hand, is a complete shambles. I've attempted multiple times to contact her, but she hasn't spoken to anyone since the incident. In the most recent case, I sat her down and basically told her, I love her 100%, and I don't really care what she does with her body as long as she is careful. She didn't say anything, but instead sobbed and returned to her room. My husband has taken her equipment, laptop, phone, multiple times to determine if she has any connections to boys or guys, I believe. Only Discord and Instagram are adequate, that we know of. Her Discord is only used to discuss a Minecraft server she's on, and her Instagram is only used to like pics, typically food, DIY videos, and pictures of her pals. This validates my husband's assumptions that she has a secondary account. I'm at a loss for words since, while that is a possibility, there is little evidence to support it. R has no idea what's going on, but I'm sure she's figured it out by now, and L has no idea. I'm at a loss for words because this is so out of character for both of them. I'm to admit that I'm a bad mother. I have little hope that treatment will help anymore, especially since M is so resistive. This is the first time in our marriage that my spouse has acted in this manner. What happens next? What should I say to maintain my family's unity?